Hi, this week's reflection has a lot more to cover than last week's reflection, so I guess I'll try my best not to get lost in all the questions. The very first one is actually, I don't know, I've read it time and time again and it keeps confusing me. It says, describe your thoughts after watching the videos about how the internet has driven change. Um, I don't necessarily know how to talk about how it has driven change, but he mainly covers how the how much the internet has affected our communication and how media and social sites are not just being used for advertisement anymore. They are being used for people to self-reflect, to be part of a community, to share new ideas. Um, and I think that one of the general ideas is how much faster everything is due to the internet. We can get work done a lot faster, and we can meet people in new ways. To be honest with you, when I first saw that there was a 55-minute long video, I decided I wasn't going to watch it. But after reading the assignment, I figured I'd better watch it, and I'm actually grateful that I did because it was really interesting. Um, One of the big points that I took away from his video was his lecture was when he said that it's hard for people to talk into a webcam because it's like you can be yourself, but at the same time it's nerve-wracking because the whole world could watch your video. And I think that's very true. Even making this, it's hard for me to know where to focus my eyes, so I just stare at the camera. It's not like I'm making eye contact with somebody. And I remember his students mentioning that too. It's awkward for them to talk to themselves, and I think that's very true. Um, it says, describe the podcast you listen to. Okay, I wrote it down. I watched a podcast off of Truth for Teachers by Angela Watson. It was episode 162, and it was called My Best Advice on 10 Sticky Situations in Schools. Um, and it was just that. It was like a lot of teachers had submitted questions for her to answer, um, such as, let's see here, working with student teachers, supporting colleagues when morale is low, lack of student motivation. I think that her general idea was good, but at the same time, her presentation just seemed kind of like fake to me. It seemed like she had written down all of her answers and was just like reading them off of a script. I don't know. I think that if it's truth for teachers, I think of it as like, I don't know. I think of truth as like a harsh truth, like cold facts. And it seemed to me like she had made it as sensitive as she possibly could. And I don't know. It seemed kind of bogus to me. She used a lot of words like embrace and patience, and I don't know. I think the general idea is good. Like, if you need some advice, of course, it's good to look to teachers that have experience. And her website is this great online community of all these teachers that are supporting each other and asking help from each other. And I think that's really cool. It's just I didn't like her presentation. I didn't like her delivery. It was just kind of phony to me. But it is a good idea. Um, I don't think I'd go to her for advice, but I like the setup of her website and everything. I don't know. I just think that she just had too many notes. It was just kind of strange to me. Let's see what else this asks. Um, should social networking applications like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram be allowed in pre-K through 12 education environment? Yes, I think so. I'm a little old fashioned. I'm not, I personally don't really have any social media websites besides Facebook, and I kind of just get on that to see the news. Um, but I know that I'm gonna have to get on board with some of these platforms as a teacher. Um, one, to connect with other colleagues. Two, the blogs are a great idea. The podcast to get advice. I really like that. And thirdly, to connect maybe with my parents. And I guess fourth, if I were to be teaching high school or middle school per se, I could post ideas and links for assignments. On maybe like a class Facebook page or a Twitter account or something like that. Personally, I'm going to be teaching kindergarten though, or at least I want to be. So I think that any any social media website I would use would be for parents. And of course, I would only accept, it would be not my personal account, but it would be a classroom account. And I would accept only friend requests from parents, and I'd have to get their permission to post certain things. But I could post information about upcoming field trips, maybe good prompts to ask their good prompts and questions to work with their students at home. Um, I could post photos. Um, I could ask parents their opinions on topics, or for example, I remember my practicum class last semester. Um, there were all these thunderstorms and tornadoes, and a lot of kids came to school and they were talking about it and they were scared. I could post in the um, I could post in my classroom Facebook page like what were some uh, coping mechanisms that you use to calm your kids during the storms last night, or I could post my ideas, which my teacher that I was shadowing used this book. It was called Thunder Cake, and it was just like about this little girl that makes cake with her grandma every time it storms. And I could post that on there, so maybe the parents that haven't heard of it before would have a good idea to like calm their kids down and make their kids almost excited for when it storms. I could put the recipe on there, photos of them eating the cake at school and stuff. So I think that social networking can be great. For any kids, and I could even have the kids help me create some of the posts that I put on there, or show them what the page looks like, because even though they're in kindergarten and they can't necessarily um, control their own website, I think they'd like to be a part of it, they'd like to be involved. And then lastly, it says, which cloud-based bookmarking tool did you utilize and what were your thoughts after using it? I downloaded Reddit just because I've heard a lot of good things about Reddit. I've actually never used it before, but after I created my account, I'm really excited about using it. It's funny because it's almost like social media, because there's a bunch of posts and then everybody's comments on there. I mean, I guess it is social media. It's just a little different. I think it could be a little more professional for me, but I can have my own page with all my own bookmarks. I can get feedback from people. I can see people that bookmark or hashtag the same things as me. I really like it. I've never thought about using something like that, but I'm definitely going to now. It's just a good place to archive all of my thoughts. I bookmark stuff on my computer all the time, but then if I go to like the school library or the public library, I don't have those bookmarks anymore. So I think I'm definitely going to start using Reddit all the time. I like to see other people's ideas and reflections. Um, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. I really did enjoy watching the professor. I think that he was lighthearted. He was a good speaker. And also, I'd like to conclude with one thought. I thought it was important how he talked about how we have to be a little more cautious in the age of the internet, because there are a lot of fake profiles being created and there's a lot of drama that comes with the internet. And I think that's especially true with high school kids. We need to know, like, as teachers, how to react and deal with these kinds of problems that our students may come to us with. Um, but anyway, I guess that's all I have to say.